In this video, I want to walk you through how to leverage data tags. It's a way you can dynamically pass variables into our security policies as well as other places in the product. So there are actually a couple locations where you can leverage data tags. So I want to walk you through both. Let's go into the admin. There's the concept of profile tags as well as group data tags. So let's first take a look at the profile tags. So I'll go into permissions, and all of our users have a profile. And if I were to take a look at a particular user, you'll see there's a couple of items that you can have specific to a user. Things like their name, their login, their email, company. And then you'll see we added a couple of tags here for variables that you might want to use. And then there's some other elements in this profile record. Pay attention to the first name and the last name. We're going to use these as profile data tags and pass them dynamically into a security policy so that when this particular user tries to access data, it's going to be automatically filtered based on the value of their first name and last name. So it'll be keyed in just to them. So the way we're going to do that is because I have these profile variables already configured, I'm going to go straight into my data security module where we set up our policies. Now, to give you a recap on how this used to work, let's take a look at this particular policy called Zane Levy. You'll notice that when I look at my policy constraints, I actually have Zane's name hard coded in the policy, and that was the way that it had to be done before data tags. And as a consequence, this particular policy was assigned specifically to that user. So if I had 10 sales reps and I wanted to limit their data, I would have to have 10 of these policies. I would have to clone and create 10 specific policies and hard code the name in it. Let's show you how you can do that now with data tags. So I'm going to get out of this policy. I'm going to make a new one. I'm going to call it data tag sales rep, just as an example. Let's go ahead and save that. Let's go back in and edit, and I'll add a constraint. The key thing to know about data tags is the syntax to use when you refer to that data tag. So we're going to build a quick policy here on the field sales rep name. And you'll see that I'm building this just like I would a normal security policy. In this case, I'm going to use the equal condition because I only want them to be authorized to see their own information. Now you'll notice here is where I used to be able to pick the sales reps in this particular case. But what I'm going to do is actually go down. You'll see I've got quite a lot in here. So that would be a lot of policies to create. I'm going to go to custom value. And I'm going to leverage their profile data tag. And the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to have a syntax, and it's going to be a backslash pound first name pound backslash. That's going to dynamically substitute whatever value we have in the profile record. I'm going to hit a space. I'm going to put in the last name pound slash. So now that's going to be the syntax to substitute in whatever value we have in their first name in their profile and their last name. I'm going to add this to the table, and I'll close out this process just like we normally would. Now the last step of this is now instead of hard coding this on users, I could assign the entire sales team into this particular policy. So now any user that's within this team, within this group, is going to now automatically have this policy assigned to them. So let's go ahead and save this. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to turn this policy on now. We're going to turn this one off so it doesn't interfere with our testing. Let's take a look and see how that impacted their ability to run reports. First, I'll log in as Vicky. Now we've got Vicky and her last name passed in dynamically to any reports that she runs from that particular data source. And when this dashboard starts to load now, you'll notice the sales rep name, it only has her information. That data level constraint is automatically being applied. And let's log in as the account that Zane Levy uses, and you're going to see the same exact thing. Zane's going to run that same exact dashboard, but of course, he's not going to see everyone's information. You'll notice now that he sees Zane Levy. Notice also that he has a couple of different accounts. So we're going to show you now how to do another type of data tags. But very simple, very powerful, and very easy if you are able to use those profile-based tags. Now, we also, let me put in the right password. We also have the concept of applying tags at a broader sense for larger types of requirements. So let me show you that. So the first example was based on the profile-based tags. These are going to be the tags that are accessible directly from within the profile page. We've added a new icon up here. If you go over here to this icon here, this is where you can actually get to a place where you can create as many data tags as you want, not just the ones that are limited in the profile. These data tags allow you to apply them to an entire group, an individual, and also be able to set a fallback value if somehow you misconfigure things and there's not a tag created. So I'm going to create a new data tag, and let's say we further want to constrain reps to just specific accounts. So I'm going to make a tag called accounts, and you'll notice here that I can make both character, numeric, and date time type of tags. This is going to be a character tag. I'm going to leave these blank, but here I could fill in the default value if I want to right there. Let's go ahead and save that. Let's edit this and see what's in there. So you'll notice it is active by default. I can easily turn it off by checking that. And you'll see that I can create a set of tags. I can enable tags for specific groups and set what value I want to place there. I can also enable tags for specific users. So in terms of the order of preference, if I have a group tag and that user is in that group, but I have a user-based tag enabled for them, that user-based tag is going to supersede that group. So you can actually have a person in a group and still apply additional constraints to an individual user, even though they're in that group. So that's a bit of a power feature. Now I've got a couple of I want to enable a tag for Zane and for Vicky. So for Zane, we're going to give him access to just one account. This account called Umbrella Corporation. And for Vicky, we're going to give her access to 3. Now what I'm doing here, this syntax, I'm going to use a enlist condition when I build that constraint in the security policy. Before we did an equal, now I want to have multiple sort of accounts. So this is a very common use case when it comes to security. You'll notice that the syntax I'm using here on a character-based tag is I'm putting the name of, in this case, the company, a single tick, a comma, a single tick, the name, and I'm leaving off the single tick at the front of my string, and I'm leaving off the single tick at the end of my string. So that's just an important tip when you do an enlist. If you're doing a like or an equal or the other ones, you don't have to worry about that. But the enlist is a special type of case. I'm going to go ahead and enable Vicky to have those, and I'm going to set a default value of tree quote. We're going to come back and explore that fallback value in a second. I'm going to hit save. Now, just making the data tag doesn't do anything. It just makes it accessible in the criteria builder and in drill downs and in the security that I'm going to show you next. So let's go and actually use this data tag for a purpose. So I'm going to pop into my data security. There's a couple things I could do. In fact, what I'll do in this case is I'm going to edit my existing data tag. If I want this data tag to be ANDed, I want both constraints to be applied, the sales rep name and the account list, then I'm going to add it into this particular data tag sales rep. If I want this to be an OR condition, if I want this to be evaluated that the sales rep or they can see these accounts, then I'm going to create a whole new policy. So that's an important tip there is if you want to have an AND relationship between your data tags, put them in the same policy. If you want them to be ORed, then you can put them in separate policies. That adds a lot of power as you're setting it up. I'm going to go into the constraint and I'm going to add a new constraint. So this will be ANDed. It'll be their sales rep name and this account list. I'm going to add in my constraint. I'm going to pick that customer account name this time. And this time I'm going to say enlist because we set this up to be a multi type of enlist thing. And I'm just going to use that same syntax. /# accounts, spell it right, #/ We're going to add this. So there's no longer any need to hard code these. You'll see it's got the end there. And now I've got that. And I'm going to save this. So just to show you the impact of that, I won't log back into Zane, but let's log back into Vicky because we gave her a couple of different accounts. Now it's going to apply that she can only see the accounts that are assigned to her, but not all the accounts anymore. just these specific accounts. So she had quite a lot before, and you'll see now she's down to just Zoom It, Sunrun, and RanTouch, which are the ones that we added in that data constraint. Now, one more thing I want to show you in this video is the concept of the fallback. So let's log back in. If you remember, when we built that accounts data tag, we set a fallback value of tree quote. Now, what does that fallback do? Let's go back and take a look at that. In our data security policy, let's edit this one. You know, this case, we added the sales team in here. And everybody that we've used so far, Vicky and um, and Zane, we've defined some specific accounts for them, but we didn't define any accounts for anyone else. So what happens now if they try to use this policy? Well, they're going to hit that fallback. And to demonstrate that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add administrators into this list. And since the administrator doesn't have this constraint of sales rep, I'm going to turn this off just so for a test purpose. So now what I'm doing here is I'm adding in the administrator's team. Anybody who's an administrator, which I'm logged in as, they're going to have this accounts data tag applied to them if they try to pull from this app in this category. And of course, I did not set them up in the data tag. Just to show you what I mean by that, let's go back into the data tag, and you'll see that I did not enable any sort of administrator access in administrator data tags. And of course, in the user assignments, I didn't enable anything and put it here. So what that means is they're going to use this fallback tree quote because they're in the security policy. It's going to leverage that data tag, but they don't have any value set. And that's what that default value is for. And to show you that in action, I'm going to go into the composer, and I'm just going to pick from that app and pick that account name. And you'll see now that I'm going to have nothing but tree quote. That's the only thing I could do as I build reports, as I schedule. It's going to leverage that fallback value and follow me everywhere. So extremely powerful, extremely dynamic security capabilities now with data tag. If you do have any questions at all about how to set it up and use it, just reach out to us at team@dashboardfox.com.